where Russia looks like they are ramping up their military drills and their exercises once again, but this time they're involving some 40 million people. That is a lot of people. That takes a lot of logistics, a lot of effort and work and planning all the way around to have 40 million people involved in this massive exercise. Now they're labeling it under civil defense. So even though they make mention that they're going to use some of this to prepare for quote-unquote natural disasters, a lot of this is geared toward an emergency situation where a man-made event causes a disaster, like a nuclear strike. Now, they're ready in Moscow in particular. Now, they've got all kinds of underground bunkers for millions of people in Russia. And no doubt many of them will be retreating to their bunkers as part of this drill. A lot of the other individuals above ground that are participating in this will be doing all types of stuff. You're talking about rescue units, paramilitary units, small boats and inlets of water, emergency rescue units of all sorts. And this will involve what they're calling abnormal emergency rescue teams. Now, that's something to pay attention to when they start talking about abnormal rescue teams. These are very special divisions that they send out for certain situations like a nuclear strike. 40 million people is a lot of people to participate in this drill that's going to be going down from October 4th through October 7th. Now, they're saying that there's going to be more than 200,000 professionals in this rescue. Well, actually, 200,000 professional rescue units is what it's saying, and 50,000 pieces of equipment. So that's a lot, a whole lot to be moved around, as well as people. I guess they're just expecting everyone to up and quit their job or just take part in this drill hands down. I mean, it's that big. And we've talked about the events in Europe. We've talked about the Czech Republic, France, talking about civil chaos, Germany, telling its people to have a plan to stock up on food and water. Here in this country, as we are heading toward election, there's all this talk all of a sudden of Russia, the United States once again, and always Hillary Clinton has been blaming Russia for the hacks and all this other stuff. And it almost seems like it's imminent if she was to get in office that they would make moves there. Every kind of deal that they strike up over Syria seems to go down the tubes. And let's not forget that Russia is in possession of Crimea still, with massive amounts of military equipment down there as well. They just got done conducting drills down there, and they're always conducting these drills. But this one, I've talked about them moving troops by the hundreds of thousands before, but to have 40 million people involved in an exercise is pretty damn massive. So they're preparing for something. You know, the details of this, I'm guessing they will leak out and slowly emerge step by step, day by day as they go through this. But it also raises the question, you know, are they expecting something with all this tension between Moscow and the West, this theater of war? They will play a scenario out, and I do believe that at some point someone is going to drop a nuclear bomb. Now, this takes me back to the Chinese rover pick. If you guys remember the video I put out on that, the Chinese rover pick had a curious mushroom cloud emanating from this region. Matter of fact, here is that video. It's now got over 500,000 views from roughly 2 years ago. But the question remains, why, during this event where they were showing off the rover at their space center, where they had a fake one on display here. In the background on this billboard on the wall is a picture of Earth. And out of nowhere, for no reason, is a mushroom cloud. And when you zero in on this location, it is in this European, Ukraine, Moscow ring of Ukraine and all that, in that area. Either way it goes, it depicts a massive mushroom cloud coming up off the region. In Russia, constantly carrying out these drills. This one, like I said, massive. 40 million people. And we're just going to have to see how this whole thing plays out. It's almost as if they may be expecting something. And if they are expecting something imminently, this is a move that you would see them make. Now, you have to also look at Russia and how many bunkers they have built to save people, millions and millions of people. When in this country, it's mostly just the super rich that have them tucked away. The hell with all the rest of the people. You know, then they have their base in Cheyenne Mountain and all these other secret bases. All this recent talk also, while I'm at it, of the Smoky Mountains, I can't tell you how many people, and I got friends and family that live down there as well, that are seeing odd things, chopper activity, unmarked chopper activity with local law enforcement, lots of military movement with troops. And Cook County maybe is one of the places they just mentioned in an email today. But it's repeated. It's something I'm seeing over and over again. We also seen the disaster relief truck that was posted down there, you know, kind of obscurely. Like, what is this doing here? And what for? But we've also seen an uptick in military movement across the country. We just witnessed UN equipment staged at what was supposed to be a Kellogg's plant in Maryland. Okay? The shipping containers, the tankers themselves, fuel tankers. And for those that missed it, I showed footage on Underground World News Live. It's in that video clip on Dabu 777. But it really looks like, you know, accumulatively here across Europe, even Russia, all of them are prepping for an event. To me, this is going to affect all the countries when this huge event does go down. I also talked about the other night, Saudi Arabia. In that 1981 movie Rollover, it depicts, kind of predicts exactly what Saudi Arabia is doing right now. And in it, they state that a cash-strapped or greedy Saudi Arabia, in which the world thinks has all this money, but apparently at this point have put it into other things, they try to jerk all their money out of our economy in the war not to do it, but they go ahead and they do it anyway to protect their own interest. And this is also why Saudi Arabia is the only country in the world right now that has been building for the past year and a half a huge wall around their country with a huge ditch, with guard towers, you know, every half mile or mile, equipped with troops, literally sealing off their country with a wall. And I showed that in separate videos, even the details of the wall. Someone may be expecting some lashback from someone else or others down the road here, it seems. But it's interesting that right now, at this exact same point in time, Saudi Arabia is threatening to do just that. All because of this ploy to sue Saudi Arabia over 9/11. What they did not tell everyone was hidden in that package. It wasn't just a package to sue Saudi Arabia. It then opened up all of us here to be sued by other nations and to be dragged into tribunal courts. That was hidden, and that's huge. All this being done by Barack Obama right before he slips out of office. Well, all this stuff is staged. If they know the people are going to be against something, they'll package it to where it looks like something else, and they'll slip in what they really want. And they'll never say a word about it. Unless you read about it and you can break through the deception of the mainstream media, you're never going to get the word out. But at this point, to me, with what Saudi Arabia is doing, if they were to pull out a massive load of money, which was predicted in that movie, it would flatline our economy. And the ripple effects would be felt around the world. Because so many countries depend on other countries for goods. People just don't understand that. So, some countries may make a lot of this, but not have a lot of that. And when that whole economy comes to a crashing halt, this is going to affect many. But that's also the prime time for them to install a new world system. Because it's really the only way that you can do it is if all the dominoes fall. They haven't been able to do it one by one at this point, so they're going to crash them all, especially when everything's been hinging on the petrodollar. You bring that crashing down. The Chinese currency and the Russian currency may see a boost as a reserve currency right as the dollar's falling. But after that, it'll fall too. Because all their trade and everything that they're supposed to be taking in won't be there. So eventually they will crumble as well with all the people that they have. And talking about being on the verge of war with China, Spratly Islands, all those islands, and then with Japan getting involved here and the tensions in South Korea, and then China not doing nothing with North Korea, and then North Korea itself and all the provocation. So yeah, everything's primed here for something big to spark off at any point, especially with India and Pakistan now sparring, exchanging gunfire across the border. And, they're nuclear states. They'd be dropping bombs. They're doing a lot of damage in this region. Very tense globally, to say the least. But as far as Russia goes, once again, they have a massive drill going down. And, I can't remember the last time we saw something of this magnitude, if ever, in this country or any other country where 40 million people for days are involved, in an operation like this. Shows they're taking it very seriously. What do they know? What are they expecting for real, though, is the question. I will continue to update on this as always and leave links in the description box. And make sure to tune in to Underground World News live on If You Only Knew, Casey's channel this Friday. It's Casey's backup channel. And also make sure you're following me on Twitter because I'm dropping exclusive videos on Twitter, and I will continue to. And I'm also dropping videos on my J Knight channel, which is my backup channel. I'll be doing that more and more as well, too. So make sure you're following me in those places. And also make sure to check out our recent sponsor here, The Essential Drugstore. I chose to go with these guys for a specific reason, because in these times, and really, I've never had an option like this to be able to go through somebody legitimately and get medicine, whether it's heart medicine, antibiotic kits that you want to stock up on, insulin for diabetics, which was the big thing for us that we were all talking about. You can get it all here, and even with the EpiPens, they have it at a fraction of the cost. So it's there as an avenue for folks that need it, especially in these days and times. And I'll leave a link for it as well in the description. But things definitely heating up here on the world scene, guys. Eyes peeled. Till next time, much love, y'all.